I just filmed this entire video on my Olympus camera because I was trying to get a video where I don't have that weird clicking mechanical noise that this Canon one seems to have, and I think it's like a defect in it. But this is still the best video camera I have because I can see myself in the screen, I can tell what I'm looking at. I don't even know if that thing was focusing on things. I have no idea. I'll go back and watch it eventually, but you can't even see me in it. I cut off my head. So right now we're gonna do this because my hair looks nice today, my face looks nice today because I'm about to go to Taylor Swift, and I have a half hour to film this for you all. So this is going to be another one of the videos talking about my experience with a brand of pointe shoes. I would like to go and do that for all the brands I've tried, which if you know me, you've been following me on Instagram or my other videos, you know that's a lot of shoes. I have like 60 pairs of pointe shoes, I think. And something I want to say about this, because there's been a lot of not so pleasant comments on my Gainer Minden video about people saying, you're a professional, why do you need so many pointe shoes? In a not nice way, or just trying to say, I don't understand why you keep wasting your money. If they don't work for you, they don't work, or that I have terrible feet. I'm well aware of that. I am under no illusion that I have great feet from ballet. You should see my brothers though, it's really not fair. But what I want to say is, without judging me, please follow me on Instagram, ask me questions, look at all of my videos, not just the ones on pointe shoe reviews, but like my pointe shoe journey, my ballet journey, those kind of things, to get to know me a little better. Because I don't like people judging me and saying, you have too many pointe shoes, that's such a waste of your money. It's my money. I don't find it as a waste because this is my passion. The scientist in me, and I have 2 degrees in science, I really like experimenting with pointe shoes and finding out what works and what doesn't. Like, if I could make that my living, like just doing pointe shoe stuff, I would literally be happy for the rest of my life just doing things with pointe shoes, whether it's designing them or testing them, which I wouldn't be the best for that, but you know what I mean, just things like that. That would be my ideal job. I don't know how you would even get into that. I don't have an engineering background, so either way, the point is, ballet is my passion, and especially pointe shoes. Like, I love learning about them, why they work for people, why they don't, and finding out what works and doesn't work for me. Yes, I try and go buy them at the like dance shop and try them on. If I can, if they don't have them, I will order them online. And they don't always work, and that's fine. But then I have them as a reference that they didn't work. I don't need to return all the pairs, especially because a lot of them I buy on eBay cheaper if I don't know if they're gonna work for me. Or in this case, Russian Pointe has their outlet store, so I've done a lot through that because I can get them for like $30 sometimes if you get them at just the right time, and they're custom made ones with my lower vamp and all of that. With the Gainer ones, the custom ones, once you order custom ones, you can't return them even if they don't work. So yeah, I had to keep trying because Gainer has so many options of ways you can customize your shoes that you don't know what's gonna work for you. You kind of have an idea, but then you gotta fine tune it. And a lot of them still work. I just prefer to wear traditional shoes because I haven't found one that I love. So I'm always gonna be trying different pointe shoes. That's not gonna change. So let's get to it. These are my Russian pointe shoes. So when I first tried on those Gainers in North Carolina, that was like the big, like, eye-opening moment for me in pointe shoes. Well then, as I was leaving North Carolina to move back to Cincinnati, someone suggested Russian Pointe Rubens. I had not heard of them. I was like, okay. I found them, they were on Discount Dance on sale for some reason, like I think it was a 4th of July sale or something, I don't know. So I tried them. I ended up with this, my first pair. They're like dead now. They're all pancaked and everything. These were and I found out these actually still have the sticker in them. That's the thing I don't love about Russians. I wish they would label them better so that, like, if the sticker falls off, you still know what your shoe was, because I have no idea. Some of these, I can't even tell you which one they are. These were a 37 with 2 vamp 2 flexible soft shank. Now in all of my Russians, now this is the first time I ever 3/4'd a shank was these shoes, and I loved it when I did it. I was like one, I was already almost over the box in these, but then once I did that, it was like a miracle. I also learned that a lower vamp in these works for me. So this is a vamp 2, but in these I really need a vamp 1, which I did do on future shoes. These I just used until they died, and then I pancaked them at the end to be my first pair that I tried pancaking on because I had never done it, and I feel like it looks really cool when people do it. Mine didn't look as cool, and I'm always worried that it's gonna come off on stuff, so like I never use them. But I like them. These are also fairly soft too. I mean, they're still hard now, but I don't know. I just feel like a lot of my other shoes sound like insanely loud if I hit them on something, and these don't. And are you kidding me? My battery's dying. Give me just a second while I change my battery, and I'll tell you all about all my Russian Pointe shoes. Okay, so fresh battery. Hopefully I can get everything charged up before my concert tonight. It's fine. But let me move this again because it kind of cut my head off. So my first pair of Rubens, awesome. I went to the dance store like right after that and got a pair of Encores because I don't love about the Rubens that they have the stitched insole, which is a pain to 3/4, and I do have to 3/4. I have to do a lot to my Russians to make them really work for my feet, but it's also like kind of a process I love to do. I do have to 3/4 them. I usually soften the box quite a lot, and then I will, I don't think what else I do. I do something else to them. I mean, I sew them. I feel like there was something else weird that I do to them, but maybe it's just that 3/4ing takes a lot on these. Either way, that's what I do on these, and I loved these, but they just weren't perfect, and they were dying. So then I actually got these next, which were my favorite Encores. You guys have heard me talk about these. They're dead. They're jet glued to the life out of them, and they can't work anymore. They have nothing left in them, and now the box feels really weird because it got mushy first and then I jet glued it, and yeah. So the box is still kind of hard right now, but now it's got all these weird lumps in it because I learned you should probably jet glue before they're dying, not when they're dying. These I got from the dance store because they didn't have my size in like Rubens, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna give these a try. They don't have the stitched insole. I'm just gonna do it. They fit fine that day, which I had danced that morning, so my feet were ready to be trying on pointe shoes and stuff, but then later, after I'd sewn them and everything and used them in class, they were hurting so bad. Like, they pinched my feet so bad. Like, I was in so much pain. So I did the Catherine Morgan trick where I snipped part of the inner sole out to make them a little looser, and that helped. I also, so I didn't wear these for months. Like, I got other shoes from my Russian Pointe group here in between when I actually started wearing these, because I just left these like under my Christmas tree. It was like when Christmas was, actually I got these in the summer, and it was like right around Christmas when I started using them. That's how long I was between trying to use these again. And then like I must have softened them enough somehow or something, because then they felt good, or my feet changed, who knows, that happens. And then they worked really well, and I loved them. And then the main problem with these is they're very tapered, so I don't love that about my Rubens and my Encores. So that's why I've tried a lot of other shoes to see if I can get something similar to this. And I'll go over the few other Russians that I've tried too, but because I love these, but I don't feel like I have enough stability on them sometimes because I don't have the best core and balance, and I'm not super tiny. So I like a little bit of a broader box, and these don't have that. With that, I also got, I mean, somewhere in that line, I don't know when I got each of these. Like I said, I can't even tell what some of them are because the sticker falls off and then you can't tell. These are Russian Pointe Rubens. So I did 3/4 them, and then I glued the shank back in. These are also jet glued to the end of their life. These are dead, and the box got mushy as well, and so unfortunately they can't really be used. These I did the V-cut vamp, so I wanted to see if that works, because I've noticed in these Encores when I went up half a size, these are 37, when I went up to a 37.5, all of a sudden the vamp was too long, and so the vamp 2 didn't work. So I have to, if I go down to, or if I go up to a 37.5, I have to order a vamp 1 to make them work still for me. So these were a 30, I think these were still 37, but I did the V-cut vamp just to see how these would work, because these were the Rubens. And I liked them. I wore them out, but I like having an actual drawstring, so I didn't love that about them. So when I also tried that with the Encores and I ordered a lower vamp, like, they look really good on my feet, but then I felt like they were falling off in other places and they were baggy in other places because I couldn't pull the drawstring. So also what I love about the Rubens and the Encores that is not the same with some of the others I'm going to show you is that the sides are lower, which I really liked because I have really like flat, not archy feet, so I have no instep, so anything that can show off more of my feet and less of the shoe is good. While I mentioned that Russian Pointe also has their outlet store, I've got 2 shoes from there that didn't work for me. A lot of these shoes actually are from the outlet, so I only spent like $30 on them, which is fantastic. These, they didn't have my size. They weren't going to have it because of the lower vamp that I needed and everything for months whenever I ordered them. These were Rubens. So I was in a 37.5, and I thought, oh, or a 38, that can't be that bad. You would think. No, these were huge on me. So I did a lot of pointe shoe surgery, sewing things to make them fit better, and they still didn't really. actually never 3/4 these. They're still completely sewn, and they still have plenty of life in them. I just colored them red and made them pretty. And then I didn't have real ribbons, so that was the other problem. This is really thin, little, just package ribbon. So that's these shoes. They're just too big, even though they were only a half size up. And then these are the time that I tried the hard shank, just to see what it would be, because that's what they had in the 3.5 Encore 3.5 with 2 Vamp 2. That was the other problem, is these are a Vamp 2. When I get a 3.5, I need a Vamp 1. And I think this was actually the pair where I discovered that, because with the hard shank and the not lower Vamp, I couldn't get over them. So I colored them blue because I got the point paint and I wanted to try it out. I don't love this blue color, so that's kind of why I haven't really done anything with them. I think if I hadn't painted them, I'd probably still try and get some life out of them, but now they're blue. So then the last 4 pairs here, that's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that was 6 pairs, and there's 4 more Russian Pointe pairs that I've tried. I got another pair. These are another pair of Russians and another pair of Rubens and another pair of Encores, just because I kept going off of those 2. Like I said, my main issue was that they're too tapered, and I love them, but I just wanted a little more stability when I'm dancing, because I'm not super, I have stronger ankles now, but they're still not to the point that I'm comfortable like rising up onto one foot on them like I am in like my Suffolks or my blocks. But these look the best on my feet, I think, out of all my shoes. So these ones were just another pair of Russians with the lower Vamp. The boxes are just dead now, they're so soft. The shanks still have quite a bit of life in them, but the boxes are so soft now in these. And then these still have quite a bit of life in them. They're not bad at all. These are just my Encores. Lower Vamp, everything, so these are still good. And then these are, this is when I started writing in them, the Bravas, which I tried back in December, again off of that site. These were a 37.5 with 2 Vamp 1 flexible soft shank, so they had all of my specifications on their outlet site, which was awesome. 3/4 them, did my thing. These are a broader box, so if I held up like my old Encores here, and they're also the Spotlight collection, so they're easier to 3/4. You can see between the Encores here and the Bravas, there's a difference. Encore Brava. Same with the Lumina, which is the other one I tried for a more broad box, so you can see the difference there. Encore Brava. Lumina. But I just they didn't fit my feet as well. The sides were not as low on these, I feel like, and then I just didn't feel, I felt like a little bit like I was sinking, even though they're not that big of a difference. And I know that's my own fault, because I really do need tapered shoes. But so that's been my experience with these ones, with the Luminas and the Bravas. Maybe I'll give them more chance now that I'm going to start up with classes again at a new studio, probably taking some private lessons. So we will just have to see how that goes. And then with these, so I just normally wear everything. I've showed you these before 1,000 times. My Perfect Fit Point pads, I love them. These are my original pair, and they're getting really gross, but it's fine. The other thing that I also have learned, I used to always have to do this with Russians, and now I don't as much, but because the boxes are pretty hard and my toes weren't used to it, I would wear these little jelly crescents inside the tips of them. And I'll still use these like in my Suffolks, especially because those are pretty hard. Sometimes I'll still use these in these too, especially in the Bravas and the Luminas because they're wider. But I'll use these, and that makes them super comfortable for me. So that's pretty much the story on my Russian Points. If you have any questions about them, please ask. I'd love to talk to you all. I will probably start going on with like more. I'll do a Suffolks one, I'll do a block, Capezio. I have a lot of Freeds, although most of them didn't work for me. Again, those were all ones I bought inexpensively to try them. And then I have like some outlier shoes like Siberian Swan and Fuzi and Wermoy and Sancha and Shakat. Just ones that I've only tried like one pair of shoes, Merlet. Just ones that aren't as common. I would love to try like every brand out there, but there's some like Gambas are hard to find now because I don't think they make them anymore. Repetto would be nice, but they're from France and they're more expensive to get. Same with there's one that's made in Turkey and I can't even pronounce it. They look like gainers. They're like Goki, I don't know. I'd like to try those someday just to try them. I can't get them anywhere. And then like the art class that they do in like Australia and stuff are actually Russian Points, so. But other than that, I think I've really tried just about every brand out there. So I will keep making these if people want me to, but let me know what you think, and have an awesome day.